So what's going on, everybody? JA News. Salute to you for tuning in. So you know how we get down over here. We're going to be jumping into all of the latest updates here from the sneaker world. So coming up on today's show, we're going to be recapping today's big releases, which may have caught some people off guard. And as far as these drops, it kind of feels like Nike is back on their BS. So from what we've learned today, Nike seems to be implementing a new strategy, hopefully one that we don't see take in effect for this weekend's big upcoming drop. Guys, if you enjoy these updates, make sure you smash the like button down below. Plus, if you're new here, be sure to subscribe. You're watching JA News. Let's go ahead and kick things off with some quick updates. So first up, according to Sneaker Files, coming up spring of 2026, we can look forward to the classic Nike Air Bacon making its return. Now, this is a sneaker which, of course, originally dropped all the way back in '97. Now, we're talking about the OG Varsity Red colorway, which, although this wasn't a signature model of his, I definitely remember Tim Hardaway getting these joints off. These went crazy with the Miami Heat jersey, plus also worn by other signature Nike athletes. And how many of y'all remember the Fun Police commercial? That's definitely a classic right there. So as far as this one, when you compare other Nike sneakers that dropped back in '97, you could put these right on top with the foam posits. We also saw more colors of the Jordan 12 dropping in '97, as well as the debut of the Jordan 13. And this is a model which Nike brings back from time to time. I think the last time we saw these return, they actually dropped these with a Supreme collaboration, which I would say those were definitely pretty cool. So coming up spring 2026, this is one that I'm definitely possibly looking to add to the collection. Now, next up here, we got a big anniversary which Nike is celebrating, because approximately 22 years ago to this very day, 18-year-old LeBron James actually did sign his Nike deal, which reportedly was 7 years, $87 million. Now, recently, LeBron James actually did sit down for a little podcast interview, to which he actually revealed some pretty interesting deals, you know, ahead of that Nike signing, which he did have some other offers on the table. The first one actually came from Reebok, who basically handed LeBron, which he was like just fresh out of high school, a $10 million check telling him not to talk to any other brands. And of course, y'all already know how history went down. LeBron, he didn't take that deal, and then reportedly afterwards, according to Ballers Live, Reebok offered him a $115 million deal, as well as Adidas offered him a $60 million deal. But of course, you guys know how the story went down. He ended up historically signing with Nike. So as we take a look back here at the lineage of LeBron's signature models, big shout out to Soul Retriever for this graphic. I would say definitely when LeBron entered into the league, people would definitely check in for that first pair of LeBrons. I remember my first pair of LeBrons were the LeBron 3s. And I would just say, like, let's say LeBron was to drop, or if he would have signed with Adidas or Reebok, I think people still would have been checking for that signature model, regardless of what brand he was with. So I would say all the way up until probably like the LeBron 11s or 12s, people were definitely hyped for these sneakers, you know, just rocking them casually and everything like that. I would say probably after 12, around like the 13 or so, is where they kind of lost the casual audience. But it doesn't take anything away from the lineage of LeBron sneakers. You know, so many classics throughout the years, from the 1s, you could definitely say the 7s, 8s, 9s were going crazy during that time. So many great models, and salute to LeBron, man. Can y'all believe it? All the way back in the day, 22 years ago, 18-year-old LeBron signed for 7 years, $87 million with Nike. Can y'all imagine if he would have signed with Reebok or say Adidas? That would have been a whole different story. So keeping things moving, currently New Balance, they're celebrating Gray Days, a month-long celebration full of various releases. So as Gray Days comes to an end here, we got New Balance dropping 2 brand new silhouettes on us. So first up here, we have the 471, a model which is inspired by some of the classic 70s runners from out of New Balance back catalog. Again, this is a brand new model, as well as the 2010, something that looks like it could come right out of the 990 series. So while the 471s are cool and everything like that, it seems like the highlight of today would be the 2010, which these joints are pretty much sold out everywhere across the board. And when it comes to the 2010, remember, Kith just dropped some really successful collaborations on that model. And this is a model which seems to kind of low-key be one that could be a big hit for New Balance. So I think they're going to start out the rollout for this model kind of slow this year here in 2025, and then come 2026, you'll probably be seeing a lot of the New Balance 2010. So we're going to go ahead and jump here into today's fit of the day. And by the way, for anybody here from the community that wants to be showcased here in what I call my favorite segment, it's as simple as just tagging me on social media, whether that's over on the gram or over on Twitter. So stepping up to the plate today, we got our guy George Johnson talking about Unc be putting that on. So let's go ahead and see what Unc is talking about right here. So first up, y'all see him, good fitted, paired up with the Jordan 13 Dune. All right. So right here, we got the classic New York vibe going. Got the good Pele paired up with the Tim. So I see what you got going on right here. Now, next up, we got the patent leather Jordan 1. So, and then not the Noctas, yeah. Matching with the little polo fit right here. I ain't gonna lie, Unc, he definitely do be putting that on in. As far as a fit rating right here, while all of these fits are cool, this little Pele get up was probably my favorite, you know, with the Tims and everything. So overall, we got to go ahead and give bro a 10 out of 10. So you guys know what to do. You can jump in the comments. Feel free to give him a rating of your own. Let's go ahead and keep things moving, guys. With those quick updates out the way, let's jump into our main story. So first up, Nike hitting us with some premiere releases via the Sneakers app. First up here, we got the Swarovski Air Jordan 1 Low, Swarovski, however you pronounce it. Yeah, them joints are going crazy right here. Now with this crystal pair, these are kind of wild. You know, I would say for the ladies going crazy, but as far as the price tag, definitely going crazy, as this is one that's made several headlines for its hefty $1,000 retail price tag. And this is a sneaker which people would criticize that it's just like a bedazzled Jordan 1 Low, not really worth the price tag. But I guess if you got the money, you know, you could go ahead and spend it. We ain't out here pocket watching. So this was a crazy one, which did actually sell out. And surprisingly, even with the $1,000 retail price tag, this one is actually reselling via the secondary market. Now, next up here, we got the Lil Yachty Nike Us Force 1 It's Us, a sneaker which I definitely have praised for its kind of nostalgic feeling. It kind of takes us back to those early 2000s patent leather Air Force 1 Babester releases. You guys know what I'm talking about. And when you compare this to the first Lil Yachty Air Force 1, I would say it's night and day. He was heavily scrutinized over the simplicity of that one. And it feels like with this one, it's a complete different story. Seems like a lot of people are rocking with these. Now, as far as today's drop, we did see both of these pairs hit the Sneakers app 10 a.m. Eastern. I actually sat this one out just due to the fact that I already was able to secure the Lil Yachty joints via his website, which I guess they dropped a couple of days ago. So can't wait to check those in once they arrive. But as far as the drop, these joints were instant sellouts. They may have caught some people off guard because when we take a look here at the stock numbers, low key, these releases were kind of a joke. Now, when we talk about these crystal Swarovski joints right here, 550 pairs, which I could say that's kind of understandable, you know, just due to the hefty retail on them, $1,000. I kind of understand what's going on with that. So can you complain too much about that? Not really. But as far as the Lil Yachty pair, look, 390 pairs dropped, meaning that like based off of your size, you probably had a chance of like maybe 10 to 20 pairs dropping per size, which to me, is absolutely crazy. It's like, what's the point of even dropping 390 pairs of a highly anticipated release like this? But as far as Nike's strategy, you know, we've kind of seen them slowly implement this new strategy where rather than dropping the majority of pairs through the Sneakers app, it seems like they're kind of spreading the wealth, as these Lil Yachty joints did drop at various retailers as well as boutiques. I'm not saying it was an easy cop or anything like that, but rather than just dropping most pairs on the Sneakers app, say for last year, we probably would have seen most of these. You probably would have had your best chance via the Sneakers app. But this year, it seems like Nike wants you to put in that footwork, and it seems like your best chance to be able to secure a sneaker like this was probably first come, first serve at your local shop, or if you guys had luck on one of these online boutiques. So as far as this drop, definitely caught a lot of people off guard at how tough they were to grab. And what we've learned from this new strategy, I'm hoping that as far as this weekend's big release, this is a little strategy that we see trickle over into this Jordan 4 white cement release, because y'all know this is the biggest drop of the month, possibly even of the year. And if they do this the way they did this drop, you're gonna see a lot of people upset. Now, in regards to those white cement 4s, people are going crazy with these. Today, Hibbett dropped exclusive access on them, or I mean, they dropped them via their app. So a lot of people got W's on the Hibbett app. We've been seeing people grabbing these, JD Sports, all that good stuff. So as far as this release, it seems like your best chance may be to be able to grab them joints like at your local shop. But as far as the upcoming sneakers release, we'll see how things goes. For me, I didn't really enter any raffles or anything for the white cement 4s. They're not like a must-have for me, so I'm just playing my chances with the sneakers lottery. So we'll see how things go coming up this weekend. But as far as today's releases, it was like, what was the point of dropping 390 pairs of these Yachty joints? So before we bounce, guys, I did want to touch on Adidas doing something kind of cool, right? Let's go ahead and speak on it. So y'all remember all the way back in 2011 when A$AP Rocky dropped this video for Peso. So right here, we got a little screenshot of these Jeremy Scott Flintstone Adidas joints. At the time, these were kind of like groundbreaking, almost like polarizing, right? They made a big impact. And not only this, but just like the whole A$AP Rocky style and everything when we saw Peso drop. So including these, you also had the Jeremy Scott wings with Adidas, which were big hits, and other models as well. And then it seems like in maybe like 2023, around that time, we just kind of stopped seeing Jeremy Scott and Adidas releasing collaborations until this year. We're seeing Jeremy Scott and Adidas teaming up again in a big way. So it seems like, according to Soul Retriever, it says 3 Stripes and Scott's relationship is as strong as ever. For June, Jeremy Scott has tapped into creating an entire collection of sneakers and apparel for Pride Month with pairs like the Superstar 82 Skate. Let's go ahead and see what those are about. All right, so they're taking the influence from the wings, putting it on a skate model. So I know these aren't really for everybody, but they also said the Taekwondo as well. So let's see what Jeremy Scott going on for Pride Month here with Adidas, which would be these. What in the hell? I ain't gonna lie, these look like some Yeezy sock joints or something like that with the 3 stripes, yeah. I don't know about these, but as far as this other release, which according to Soul Retriever, they have a Jeremy Scott Adidas Samba on the way. I think this is interesting, being as the Samba seems to be one of Adidas' biggest hits as of recently. But pictured here, this pair of Sambas, I ain't gonna lie, it looks kind of plain Jane until you get into the details here. You see, because on the tongue, it does feature the zipper, which does open up to reveal an Adidas logo. So it's an interesting design detail. It's kind of subtle. It's not like a big, you know, huge design like, say, the Jeremy Scott wings or some of his past designs and everything like that. But just that little subtle design detail, is that enough to get people excited about Jeremy Scott Adidas collaborations? Remember, he has a lineage of crazy releases with Adidas. Things were quiet for some years. I don't know about these prior releases, if people will be feeling them that much, but as far as an Adidas Jeremy Scott Samba, is this the release that's gonna get people talking about Jeremy Scott Adidas once again? Just wanted to throw that out there just because I thought it was an interesting collaboration. So drop your feedback on that one. As far as today's releases, did you guys even try? I mean, with releases so limited to like these Lil Yachty joints with just 390 pairs, was it even worth your time? And just curious to know if any of you guys, you know, possibly had success, because if you hit on the sneakers app today, I would suggest you may want to try your chances at the lottery or a scratch off or something like that, because yeah, you definitely had a major W. So that's all I got for you guys today. Salute to everybody for tuning in. If y'all made it all the way through the end, please let me know by dropping a salute down below. JA News, of course, I'll be back to catch up with y'all on the latest updates. In the meantime, stay safe, stay blessed. I'm out, y'all. Love.